Hawaii is often imagined as paradise. Blue beaches, warm sunshine, and a life that seems free of burdens. But behind Hawaii's beauty, there is another side that rarely gets talked about. A quieter side, a more remote side, and in some cases, a place that holds stories that never truly disappeared. On these islands, not every town moves to the rhythm of tourism. Some places are caught between the past and the present, former communities slowly fading away, areas once struck by natural disaster, and locations marked by very real human tragedy. Some look peaceful on the surface, but the longer you stay there, the more you feel that something is different. Located on a remote peninsula on the island of Molokai, Kalaupapa is not just a small town. It is a place that was once cut off from the world. In the 19th century, the Kingdom of Hawaii exiled thousands of people with leprosy here, using cliffs more than 600 meters high and violent ocean waters as a natural prison. There was no way out, literally. For decades, people were sent to Kalaupapa with no hope of returning. Many were separated from their families forever. At its peak, the population reached into the thousands, yet people lived with limited medical care and under brutal social stigma. Today, fewer than 100 people remain. Some are patients who chose to stay, while others are staff. What makes Kalaupapa truly haunting is not just its silence, but the awareness that this place holds layers of real human suffering. Its roads are quiet, its scenery is beautiful, but beneath that, the history never feels fully gone. Kalapana is not a dead town, but a buried one. In 1990, lava flows from Kilauea destroyed the entire community, swallowing homes, roads, and even the coastline within days. What remains today is not ordinary ruin, but a vast field of black, hardened lava, as if time stopped all at once. What makes Kalapana feel different is the contrast. On top of the lava that once destroyed everything, some people came back and built new homes, literally on top of disaster. There is no normal infrastructure, electricity is often limited, and the roads are sometimes little more than paths across hard volcanic rock. Kalapana is not just quiet, it is a place where nature showed it can take everything and leave people to begin again. At first glance, Pahoa looks like an ordinary tropical small town. Rows of old wooden shops, a relaxed local community, and an atmosphere far removed from the rush of Hawaii's tourism scene. But behind that, one thing always hangs over it: lava from Kilauea that could return at any time. In 2014, lava slowly moved toward the town, destroying homes, cutting off the main road, and forcing residents to live with uncertainty for months. Some areas were completely lost, while others survived, almost by chance. Since then, Pahoa has carried a kind of quiet trauma. The town is still standing, but it always feels as if it is waiting for something. The old buildings in the town center add to the strange mood, as though time moves more slowly here. Pahoa is not a dead town, but a town that knows very well that everything can change. In many places, a volcano is a tourist attraction, but in Volcano, it is a neighbor. This small town sits right near Kilauea, one of the most active volcanoes in the world, so life here is always lived under the shadow of something that could wake up at any time. The air often feels cool and foggy, far from the bright image most people have of Hawaii. Homes are scattered through thick forest, and natural sounds dominate: wind, insects, and sometimes the faint tremor of the earth shifting. It is not busy, there is not much nightlife, and when the fog rolls in, visibility can become very limited, creating an atmosphere that feels almost surreal. The major eruption in 2018 reminded residents that the threat is real, not just a possibility. Roads can close, ground can crack, and the landscape can change in a very short time. Remote even by Hawaii standards, Miloli'i is often called the last surviving fishing village, but the reality is far quieter than most people imagine. Located on the western coast of the Big Island, far from major towns and tourist routes, this place feels like a world moving more slowly, or even left behind. Many homes here stand without stable electrical service, and some still rely on solar panels or generators. The roads are narrow, facilities are minimal, and the distance between houses is fairly wide, which makes social interaction limited as well. When night falls, Miloli'i truly disappears into darkness. No city lights, no traffic sounds, only the crash of waves and the ocean wind. It does not have a history of major tragedy like some other places, but that is exactly what makes it feel unusual. The silence in Miloli'i is not the result of disaster, but of being too far from everything. Located at the southern tip of the Big Island, Naalehu is often called the southernmost town in the United States, and that label feels real the moment you get there. Long empty roads, wide distances between places, and very little activity make the town feel like it sits at the edge of the world. Naalehu once grew as a sugar plantation town, but when that industry collapsed, its economic pulse slowed down with it. A few old buildings still stand, remnants of a time when the place was more alive. Now, what remains is a small community with a very quiet rhythm, almost too quiet. Without the noise of a city, without excess light, and without much reason for outsiders to come, Naalehu can feel empty. This is not a place with major tragedy or frightening legends, but that is exactly why its natural silence feels even more real. It is as if you have reached the limit, and beyond this point, there is nothing left. Pahala is an example of a town that did not collapse overnight, but was slowly left behind by time. It once thrived as a sugar plantation center, with the Hawaiian Agricultural Company driving the local economy and providing jobs for most residents. The streets were busy, workers' homes were occupied, and life felt stable. But when the sugar industry collapsed in the late 20th century, the town's pulse weakened with it. Many jobs disappeared, residents began to leave, and economic activity shrank dramatically. What remains today are old buildings, simple homes spaced far apart, and an atmosphere that feels too quiet. No single major tragedy ever struck Pahala, and that is exactly what makes it different. This is a town that faded, not one that was destroyed. As the main town on Molokai, Kaunakakai should be the center of island life, and technically, it is the heart of it. But compared with the main towns on Hawaii's other islands, this place feels much slower, almost stagnant. Along the harbor and the main road, there is activity, but only in a limited way. Small shops, simple buildings, and a daily rhythm that has barely changed from year to year. There is no rush of large-scale tourism, no rapid expansion, as if time moves more slowly here. Molokai itself is known as an island that resists modernization, and Kaunakakai reflects that clearly. What makes it feel a little eerie is not some major tragedy, but the contrast. This is the main town that never truly grew. On the dry western side of Kauai, far from the tourist crowds, Kekaha feels like a different world from the usual image of Hawaii. There are no luxury resorts or crowded beaches. Instead, there is a long stretch of coastline that often feels empty, strong winds, and an atmosphere of isolation. Kekaha once grew as a sugar plantation town, but like many similar places, the collapse of that industry left a major impact. Jobs declined, growth slowed, and parts of the town began to feel left behind. Life is still there, but not much changes. What gives Kekaha its unusual aura is its location near a remote military facility at the far western end of the island. That area is not fully open to the public, creating the sense that something is closed off from the outside world. Known as the biggest little town on Kauai, Hanapepe looks calm on the surface. Rows of art galleries, old buildings, and the suspension bridge that serves as one of the town's small icons. But behind its relaxed appearance, Hanapepe holds one of the darkest histories in Hawaii. In 1924, a bloody conflict broke out between plantation workers and law enforcement in what became known as the Hanapepe Massacre. What began as tension over working conditions turned into violence, killing many people and leaving deep social scars. That event made Hanapepe more than just an ordinary small town. It became a place that witnessed real tragedy. Today, the town feels more alive because of its art community, but its older atmosphere still lingers. The old wooden buildings, narrow streets, and slow rhythm create the feeling that the past is still clinging to the place. Located on the western slope of the Big Island, Captain Cook looks peaceful. Coffee farms, scattered homes, and wide ocean views. But the town's very name already carries the weight of history. In nearby waters, in 1779, the British explorer James Cook was killed in a conflict with native Hawaiians, an event that became a turning point in the relationship between the Western world and these islands. What makes this place feel different is the contrast. The landscape is beautiful, calm, even soothing, yet behind it is a story of tension, cultural misunderstanding, and violence. There are no large monuments standing out on every corner, but the awareness of what once happened here gives the town its own emotional depth. Captain Cook is not a town that was abandoned or destroyed, but more a place that carries the weight of historical memory. At the northern tip of the Big Island, Kapaau feels like a small town caught between the past and the present. Its main street is lined with old plantation-style buildings, their paint beginning to fade, as if they are still holding stories from a long-gone era. In the center of town stands the iconic statue of Kamehameha I, the ruler who united the Hawaiian Islands, giving the place a sense of real historical importance. But beyond that symbol, Kapaau feels mostly quiet. After the sugar industry collapsed, economic activity slowed, and the town never truly developed the way other parts of Hawaii did. Many parts feel left over rather than growing. What makes it a little eerie is the mix of major history and small-scale reality. On one hand, this is a place that once held an important role in Hawaii's story. On the other, daily life now moves slowly, with almost no visible change. Hawi lies not far from Kapaau, in the northern part of the Big Island, known for being quieter and more remote. At first glance, the town has an artistic charm. Small galleries, local cafes, and old buildings painted in bright colors. But beneath that appearance, Hawi still carries the strong imprint of its past as a sugar plantation town whose industry has long been gone. When the plantations shut down, the town's growth slowed with them. No major economic boom came in to replace them, and even with a touch of tourism, Hawi still feels small and quiet. Its streets are not busy, activity is limited, and life moves at a slow pace. What makes Hawi feel a little off is the contrast between efforts to revive it and the reality that it never truly came back the way it once was. Some corners feel alive, while others look empty, as if still waiting for something that never arrived. Lanai City may look neat and well kept. Clean streets, small parks, and orderly buildings. But that is exactly what makes it feel unusual. The town sits on Lanai, an island that is almost entirely owned by one private party, which gives it the feeling of being controlled and cut off from the outside world. It was once the center of the largest pineapple plantation in the world, run by Dole Food Company. When that industry collapsed, the island shifted toward becoming an exclusive resort destination. But Lanai City itself stayed small, with a limited population and not much activity changing over time. What makes it feel slightly eerie is not destruction or tragedy, but uniformity. Everything feels too calm, too tidy, and too quiet outside the resort areas. Lanai City can feel like a place standing on its own. Not a town that is growing, but a community being maintained within certain limits. Unlike the other towns on this list, Haleiwa is known as the gateway to the North Shore, busy with surfers, tourists, and rows of small shops that feel lively during the day. But once that activity fades, another side of Haleiwa begins to emerge. The town has roots as an old plantation community, and some of its wooden buildings still remain today. In daylight, everything feels relaxed and tropical. But at night, especially outside surf season, the streets can change dramatically. Shops close, traffic disappears, and the atmosphere becomes much quieter than you would expect from a popular destination on Oahu. There is no major tragedy or real danger here, but there are moments when the town feels temporarily abandoned, as if the daytime energy is only a thin layer that could vanish at any moment, leaving nothing but silence underneath.